Hello and welcome to the 5 o'clock news. I'm your anchor, Elise Arsenal, and it's a beautiful day here in Lakeville, a comfortable 70 degrees. Our special report tonight, the Battle of Shiloh has just ended. That's right, the first major battle of the Civil War has concluded. 13,000 casualties for the Union and over 10,000 Confederate men dead. This battle started April 6, 1862 and ended the next day, April 7th. We have our field reporter, Louisa Drummond, in Tennessee, interviewing the surviving officers of the battle. First, we have Union General Ulysses S. Grant. Louisa?
How long were you stationed on the Tennessee River?
I was there about a month, waiting for General Buell with reinforcements so we could move south. We got word that Johnston was planning a surprise attack before we could get our backup.
Tell us more about the surprise attack.
On April 6th, the Confederate troops began pushing us towards the river. We fought back hard as we could, poured our hearts out into it. Some of our men fled, and Johnston was sure of victory. But we gathered up our strength and moved on. Around the Shiloh church was the ugliest we ever fought. I mean, there was blood everywhere.
What was the Hornet's Nest?
The Hornet's Nest was an area near the battlefield. The Confederate troops repeatedly attacked my men. The bullets flying by made it seem like angry hornets were buzzing about. I feel as though it was the key holding back the Confederate troops during the battle. Long enough for me to organize my defense and receive my reinforcements.
What was the result of this battle?
We stalled the Confederates as long as possible, but we were losing considerable amounts of men. We got word that General Johnston was dead. Finally, new men arrived, 22,500 at that, giving us around 66,000. And got them to retreat by early afternoon, and before we knew it, it was only our men standing. Victory.
Next, we have General Beauregard of the Confederate Army. Louisa?
What was your army looking to do in Tennessee?
We were looking for trouble, I suppose. We were hoping to intercept Grant's army before he could be reinforced by some army from Nashville. So we needed to defeat them both before they could do any serious damage to the Confederacy. So they were heading right down south. That would have been devastating.
I heard you weren't the original commander of the Confederates. What happened?
My senior officer, General Johnston, he was really brave, but a little foolish. He tried to launch a surprise attack the very first day, because Grant's army was camped around just this little church. And we thought we had him for a while, but General Johnston took a bullet and bled out, so it was pretty bad. I'm not quite as brave as he was, so I ended up calling off the attack, figuring we had won already.
How did this loss affect you and your men?
It didn't quite hit me at first. Then, after the surprise attack, we noticed that they were reinforced by the army from Nashville, and it kind of disheartened us. We were so exhausted, too, that it wasn't long before Grant and his other men came, and just everything went downhill from there.
Did this battle affect the Confederates?
Oh, it certainly did. It was a major loss for both armies and both sides, but more so for us because we have a lower population, and there are only 44,700 soldiers that entered that battle on the Confederate side, and a quarter of them never came back. So it was that big loss for the Confederacy too, because, well, now we were wide open, and Grant's army could march right down the Tennessee River into Missouri and strike into the heart of the South. So it's a big loss.
The Union came out of this bloody battle victorious, but there were very heavy losses on both sides. It was only a strategic victory. The battle is still one of the worst and most violent in the entire Civil War. The level of violence shocked both the North and the South. It proved that this war was going to be much longer and much more difficult than anyone had imagined.